Internet, Eric here. Well, it's Slashback Saturday. If you don't know what that is, my buddy Joe over at the Horror Man YouTube channel, every Saturday he picks a specific category. And what you're supposed to do, if you choose to participate, it's open to anybody. You find a slasher movie that fits into said category and make a video about it. It's that simple. This week's was pretty fun. This one was called TV Slashers. And what it is I'm not sure if it was either called TV Slashers or Made for TV Slashers. I'll put the official description of the title in the link below. But anyways, what the point was, or the requirement was, is to discuss a slasher movie that was made for TV. Could have been a made for TV movie on network TV, a specific channel like Shudder or Sci-Fi, what have you. Or, apparently, according to what Joe did, it could have been an episode, a slasher-themed episode of a TV show. Now, everyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Stephen King. So my entry or choice or selection for this week's Slashback Saturday is Sometimes They Come Back. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers and specific scenes and all that stuff. Basic plot of Sometimes They Come Back is we're following Jim Norman, who was played by Tim Matheson. Most people know him from National Lampoon's Animal House and Drop Dead Fred, off the top of my head. Poet didn't know it. He is a school teacher moving back to his hometown, and he's back after many, many years because when he was a young boy, his older brother was killed by a gang of greasers because what's a Stephen King movie without greasers as the villains? They killed his older brother, and then they were killed after getting hit by a train. Now I'm going to say 30 years later. I don't know. He is a school teacher, and his students are mysteriously dying, and they are getting replaced in the classroom by what appears to be the greasers that killed his brother. I remember this is one of my favorite Stephen King TV movies. There's a lot of Stephen King TV movies. Definitely one of my favorite ones. I saw this when it premiered. I watched it every time it came out. I bought it on home video. I haven't upgraded yet. As you can see, I still have the VHS tape. A lot of fun. Tim Matheson as Jim. He's really good. He's really likable. He has a good relationship with his wife. Good relationship with his son. He does really good acting when he needs to be the protector of his students and of his family when the greasers come back. Very, very likable. The scene, I already mentioned spoiled, when he's reunited with the ghost of his brother Wayne, it's quite heartbreaking, especially through Tim Matheson's acting, talking to now, still young Wayne. So really, really good. We have some cameos, or not cameos, but some of the actors here are horror movie alumni. His wife is played by Brooke Adams. She was in The Dead Zone, another Stephen King movie. She's good here, very likable. The strong female. She's not like overpoweringly strong, but she's the good, strong wife. Protective mother. She stands up to the hoods when they go after him, so she's likable. Their son is played by horror alumni Robert Hyde Gorman from the first Leprechaun. Hate him. I've always hated Robert Hyde Gorman. I hated him in Leprechaun. I hate him in this. I hated him in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. I just find him really, really annoying. I don't find him a good actor at all. It is what it is. I am kind of biased when it comes to child actors. I don't really like them at all. Never have. But he's particularly one of the worst ones, in my opinion. We'll get to the greasers. Two of them that I know of are horror alums in one way or another. The leader is Robert Lawson, played by Robert Russler from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. He's very scary in this, very charismatic, very funny, very dangerous. He's the center of attention when he's on screen. Just the way he looks. I mean, he looks. That's him right there. He is the stereotypical greaser. And he's kind of like the Fonz. He brings in that era of that coolness to his character, but he's a psychopath, and I love his performance in this. There's two other members of this group. One is Vinnie Vincent. I don't know the actor's name. He's a horror alum. He is in Idle Hands. He's one of the bumbling cops um, that is killed when they find out that Mick and Penub have been killed. He's scary too. He just the way he looks. You know, he's the blonde. He's the blonde green. He's blonde or a redhead, one of the two. But he stands out because of that. He's got the evil look in his face. He howls at the moon, so that's like his thing. Um, so he's really good. There's a third one. I don't know the actor's name. He plays North. Um, he's just kind of there. He's scary when he needs to be scary, but he's not as scary as Robert Russler or the actor who plays Vinnie Vincent. Not at all. Um, the actor who plays Wayne, he's not in very much, but he's very good at being a loving brother. Yeah, so I like that. And then there is another a greaser that got out of the way of the oncoming train, and Jim has to go get him now. He's an older man. Has to get him to help rescue his kid and his wife that has been taken away by the gang. William, was it Sanderson? Yeah, William Sanderson, another horror alumni. He's the junkyard guy or the mechanic that is killed by Max and Man's best friend. He's good. That's it. You know, he's good being that like that tortured soul. You know, because he got away, even though he feels guilty for the death of Wayne. So the acting, other than that little shit kid, is pretty good. You know, pretty good to really good. Um, it's made for TV. I mean, there's some other characters. Like some of his students are likable. You know, you got the jock who's the asshole. He's fine. You got the other kids. They're okay. They're not worth mentioning, but they're okay. Since it's made for TV movie, there's no gore, really. Now, if you get the VHS or Blu-ray and DVD, you see that it's rated R. And it shouldn't be rated R because the only added scene they did is you find out what happens to the character of Chip. Um, Chip is killed in the TV movie. He's right along. He's in the back seat with the greasers, and they've turned into these monsters, which I think is really cool. I'll get to the look of the monsters, and pull out a switchblade, and then he screams, and then they drive away. But in this, there is an added scene where they drive over a bridge and they're throwing out body parts. So they obviously cut him up, but doesn't need to be rated R. It was not in the original broadcast. But the other deaths, we get some stabbings. You don't really see much blood, obviously because it was a TV movie from 19. What did it say? It didn't say. I don't know. It didn't say. Nope. Well, obviously I'll have the year in the title here for the video. But so they had to be a little more creative with their deaths. One girl is hung. You have another person run off the road. You have, like I said, stabbings, but pretty bloodless for the most part. But they're deaths that make an impact. Especially I like the girl that is hung because she goes missing, and they have to look for her. And of course, you have the big reveal that looks really good. Score, I don't really remember much about the score off the top of my head, so I guess it wasn't that memorable. Now let's get to the part that I think is really cool. Since these guys are back from hell, they have, they're obviously ghosts. They have the ability to change into these demon-like monsters. Not much of a budget for a made-for-TV movie, but they really look cool. They have specific looks. Robert Russler, he's the leader. He looks more like a melted Frankenstein, I think. Vinnie Vincent looks creepy, but North, he has got this huge overexposed eyeball and like a broken jaw, and most of the time when you see North, he's always laughing. He's got this high-pitched laugh, and it works perfectly when you see the mouth just elongating, and so good. The comedy works really good. What little comedy there is, from the killers, especially Robert Russler. There's a scene where Brooke Adams and their son are hide out at church because it's the old cliche that demonic beings can't go inside a church, and they're attacking, and they just knock out. They open no. What is it? No, okay. I'll talk about this scene, but the scene I want to talk about is at their home, I believe. And anyway, they open the door, and Robert Russler won't walk in, to the church. Vinny Vincent won't walk into the church, so they get North to walk in. They're like, "Oh, go ahead, dude. Yeah, sure, go right ahead." And he tries to walk in, and his foot catches fire. It's a really cool fire effect. He's running around, jumping and kicking, trying to kick the fire out while they're busy fucking laughing. So that's good comedy. But just with Robert Russler, um, he's in full zombie mode. He's attacking. I think he's at the house, the home, the actual home, and he's just like burst down the door after they're being, the windows are being smashed in and this and that. And he says, "Mrs. Norman, can Jimmy come out and play?" Just really good at being this antagonizing, evil lead, and I love it. But they can also be downright scary. One of the scariest scenes is when Jim's going to the bathroom. He's washing his hands, and the three of them are just hanging out in the bathroom, and just the way they're just sitting there relaxed, like sitting on the urinal, sitting on the heater, standing there, and just the way they talk about Jim, and hey, how's your other older brother Wayne, and this and that, and you find out that they've just transferred in from Milford. All three of them have transferred in from Milford, and the Milford revelation isn't very groundbreaking. It's pretty cliche, but it's something that you see in all these horror movies. So it's a fun trope. Yeah. What else? I like the ending. I like the ending. How they conjure up the spirit of Wayne to come help them, because this is a little bit of a spoiler. Not too much, because once you see the characters that are involved, you knew something was going to happen. Every time someone dies, another is able to come back. So they are able to bring back the spirit of Wayne, because they have to reenact the death. They have to reenact the death of them, the Greasers. So to put them back to hell for eternal damnation or some shit like that. Really cool scene, pretty intense for the most part. Once the Greasers are defeated, you have that one-on-one talk. Wayne doesn't recognize Jimmy, obviously. No, he says something like, "My brother's 6 years old," or something like that. And then Jim Mason's like, "I grew up, I had a family, and now you can go home, or you can move on, because I guess you're stuck in purgatory or something like that. And Mom and Dad will be waiting for you, and soon we'll be reunited." It's a really sweet scene, super cheesy, but you know what? I'm a sucker for these type of cheesy scenes. Um, yeah. In the end, I mean, and this if you've ever read this short story from Night Shift, big fucking difference, lots of differences, but in the end, one of my favorite made-for-TV movie horror movies, um, if not my favorite of the Stephen Kings. Sometimes they come back. Highly recommend it. Lots of fun. Robert Russler is fucking awesome as Robert Lawson. The other two guys are really good for what they have to do. Tim Madison's a great lead. Kid fucking sucks. Hate him, but at least you get to see him chased by their Thunderbird, so that's really cool. But yeah, highly recommend it. There are some sequels. Second one I really enjoy. The third one I watched once and remember it was really, really boring. They're all different characters. It's just the same theme. But yeah, highly recommend Stephen King's Sometimes They Come Back. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the bell. All that crap. Comment below. Tell me if you've ever seen this. Tell me if you like it. Tell me if you hate it. Tell me if you've seen the sequels. What do you think of those? Participate in Slashback Saturday. Subscribe to Joe. This is a lot of fun. A lot of people do it. He says it's open to anyone. I try to do as much as I can what the schedule will allow. And if not, just give Joe a sub anyways, because he's got some really cool content. Not just the Super Slash Brothers live stream, but he does unboxings and rare stuff not on VHS or DVD, that type of stuff. So yeah, that's it. In the end, I'll just say cheers. And we just transferred in from Milford.